On today's Fit to Eat, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious blueberry peppercorn flank steak, complete with grilled sweet potato spears and seared seasoned tomatoes. We take a look at the first Mississippi certified organic farm, and registered dietitian Rebecca Turner whips up smoothies the whole family will enjoy. And our guest, the executive director at Mississippi Business Group on Health, Murray Harbor, is here to help me out. Welcome back to Fit to Eat. I'm your host, Rob Stinson, and today we have Murray Harbor, the executive director for the Mississippi Business Group on Health, is our guest. Murray, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here today.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the group.
Well, the Mississippi Business Group on Health is a group of employers in Mississippi and industry partners working more to protect the investment of employers, investment into health and health care. So they work together to kind of make sure that employee health and wellness programs are following best practices, and healthcare, we're seeing quality health care.
Awesome. And I tell you what, it obviously ties in with healthy food.
It does.
Let's say we were just looking at some of these beautiful fresh herbs, and today what we're going to be doing is a blueberry peppercorn flank steak served with some seared sweet potato spears and then some roasted tomatoes, what I would call kind of Provençal, but it's a beautiful little fresh herb topping.
Yummy.
Yeah, isn't that neat? Mm-hmm. You know, so I guess what we're trying to do is get away from the typical old-fashioned heavy, overladen potatoes with butter and fatty steaks.
It's a healthier version of steak and potatoes.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, here's what we're going to do to get started. The flank steak, which we have here, this is a very lean piece of beef. As you can see, all the fat has been trimmed off. We're going to make up our own little seasoning, and to do that, I'm going to take a little bit of our smoked paprika, some onion powder. And you know, this is a good one for people at home. Onion and garlic powder have no salt. Granulated garlic and granulated onion are just overlaid and is 60% salt. So we're trying to keep salt out of the entire package here. And now what we're going to do, just take that, mix it together. And you know, I have a lot of fun. I mean, I like to kind of get my hands into the food, get that seasoning mixed. So all we're going to do is take and put a nice little coating. And remember, you don't have to be worried about it because it's got no salt. Yeah, kind of neat, huh?
Cover the whole thing.
Absolutely. We're going to get both sides of that. And then I've got a pan over there that's gotten pretty hot. How about you check that? Can you kind of just see if the temperature on there is good? Looks good, huh? Mm-hmm. All right, so where we're going to go, a little zero fat spray. And I probably, just to be safe, for those of you at home, don't do what I just did. Actually spray it away so you don't get it where the flame is, and it makes it a little bit safer. We're going to turn the heat up on high. That pan is already warm too. I know it's kind of tricky. A lot of people don't know. I love to get the pans good and hot before we start.
Yep.
You know, it gives it that searing which seals in all the good juices and nutrients. You know, I know you said you like to cook, huh?
I do. Love to cook.
Awesome. So we're going to put that right in the pan. You can already hear it searing. Set that down below. Actually, you know what? We're going to pull that back off. I'm going to keep that out. We'll keep a little less seasoning just in case we want it as well. And it's not going to need to sear too long. Now, in the meantime, down the road, we're going to have the little magic of TV, because we're going to actually cook some sweet potatoes to where they're actually soft enough that you could eat them. Mm-hmm. But I want to do this ahead, so let's look over here. We've got some beautiful fresh product. This is all going in what we're making today.
Some fresh herbs from Mississippi right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some flat parsley, you know, beautiful tomatoes and orange, lemon. You know, we've got just about everything that's going to go in that peppercorn sauce right there. But we're going to actually start boiling. You can see the water's already hot. We're going to do a sweet potato, then pull a little presto chancho. I've taken the liberty of actually cooking one already, but I want to show people at home, because, you know, if you're doing this at home, you don't want to have to spend all your time in the kitchen, especially if you've got, you know, friends over.
Right.
Or family.
That's right.
You know, so you tell me that you like to cook at home.
I do.
So would this be something you think might meet with approval?
I think it would.
You know,
Definitely.
should be a little fun, I think. Now, on the flank steak,
How long does it normally take to sear it?
I'm going to tell you, this I'd sear probably about 2 minutes aside.
Yep.
And then let it rest. And everybody's like, what does that mean? You know, it's kind of a term that people hear, but they don't really know. The idea of letting it rest is so that when you cut into it, all of the juices don't drain out. Because if you immediately sear it and immediately cut it, they will.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of let that go. And here on the side, we've got our sweet potato cooking. So tell me what you think the progress has been. I know you're working with so many different groups. Tell us a little bit more.
Employers are actually adopting more wellness programs into their organizations, as well as not just for employees, but for family members. And they're really trying to teach skills on, like, that's one of the reasons we love this, is teach skills for cooking.
Absolutely,
And
huh?
teach how to add activity into your life.
You know, while we're talking about that, in case anybody wants to get the full recipe, you can go to mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat, get all of the details, and actually, they get to see you and me again, you know? Yeah, it's right there on video, and I think it really makes it nice so that sometimes it's hard to read a recipe book. You know, it really is hard to follow them. But if you can watch a video, and boy, I tell you what, MPB is on top of that.
Right, they sure are.
Yep. So we're going to keep that searing. It looks like we've gone about a minute on each side. Let's turn it and cross over. And again, you can see the grain in that meat. You want to make sure you know which way the grain is, and we'll talk about that later when we go to slice it.
Great.
All right, now.
So I guess they could get fresh vegetables at their farmers markets.
Well, I tell you what, farmers markets are everywhere now, huh? I mean, you know, in South Mississippi, we have them in just about every city. And I love the idea of being able to support your local economy. But also, what's the important part? No pesticides. You know, they try to keep them as natural as possible.
And they're fresh.
Absolutely.
I mean, probably picked that morning.
That's right. You know, nothing's frozen. I mean, what a big difference. Okay, I think we're about ready. So we're going to take that, and you notice I like to leave some of that in there. We're going to take that and put it right back on our seasoning. Okay, and in that same pan now, we're going to add a little, and this is like a half a teaspoon of oil we're putting in. That pan, you can see, is good and hot, and I'm just drizzling it ever so lightly because there's quite a bit of what you do not want in that oil, so we're trying to keep it to a minimum. So we're going to throw our garlic in the pan. Believe it or not, an orange.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take and squeeze the lemon and let that lemon cook out, and then get the skin down and get some good flavor going.
Gets the oils out.
And then we hit it with a little red wine, and that red wine is going to deglaze the pan. Look at that.
Woo! Beautiful. We're having a party in the pan.
And it'll help take some of that right off the pan. We're going to drop the heat a little bit in the pan. And then we're going to add in our peppercorns. And we're going to put about a teaspoon of peppercorns. These are green peppercorns. Try one of those. They're really interesting. They've got a wonderful little light flavor without being too overpowering. Isn't that neat?
Not getting that heavy pepper bomb.
Absolutely not. We're going to take and put some Creole mustard in. Then we're going to, believe it or not, it's not cream, it's not even milk.
Really?
This is a little skim milk.
Skim milk.
Now, let's take that, mix it all around, and I'm going to take that pan and try and get it, really moving through a little bit better. Okay, we're going to move it off the heat and set it in the center, add our blueberries in, and at this point we can actually take out, and then what we're going to do, you can give me a huge hand here, is if you get just a little bit of water.
Yes.
A little bit of water is going to add a little bit of volume to that sauce. And we'll pop that in the pan and then put it back on the warm burner. It's going to be really kind of a neat little flavorful light sauce. Take it off the heat.
Can you use frozen blueberries, or do you need to have them deep thawed, or what?
Frozen will work. Frozen will work. Fresh will work. It just depends sometimes what you have available, And I think that's kind of the fun part about going to the store. People get so intent that when they go to the store, they've got to have everything exactly the way the recipe was. And I tell you, this is where improv and everything else really works, So we're going to take a look at that and take and probably add just a little bit more of our skim milk. And what's so nice about that is total fat-free, not adding any calories. Put it back over low heat and let those blueberries cook down a little bit.
Smells great.
And when we put the meat back in it, it's going to really have kind of a neat fry. Now, and let's see. As we kind of let this thing go, I'm going to move all that around. Let's talk, though. Registered dietitian Rebecca Turner has some great ideas for making healthy and delicious smoothies that are quick and easy. So let's go see what she's doing, and we'll be right back.
Great.
A smoothie is a fast, portable, vitamin-packed meal or snack. And if you choose the right ingredients, a morning smoothie is a great opportunity to get a jump start on the nutrients your body needs for the day. In fact, it's pretty hard to go wrong with the smoothie as long as you keep a few key rules in mind. Here's my 3 steps to build a sensational smoothie from the blade up every time. First, you want to add a handful of green leafy vegetables like spinach or kale. It's a super simple way to add mega nutrition to your smoothie. Sure, it may turn the color of your drink a slight shade of green, but I promise you won't even know it's there. Once you've picked your green, you're going to move on and pick a source of protein. My top 2 picks are Greek yogurt, which has twice the amount of protein as regular yogurt, or good old skim milk. You know, at only 80 calories, skim milk provides protein plus 80 essential vitamins and minerals, all while being the needed liquid to blend your smoothie. Now for a bonus, you can add 1 to 2 tablespoons of crunchy or creamy peanut butter. The heart-healthy fats found in peanut butter will help keep you full and satisfied longer after you drink your smoothie. Fruit is often the backbone of smoothies. It adds antioxidants, fiber, and that sweetness. Frozen fruit makes a thick, frosty smoothie, so be sure to keep your freezer stocked with berries, particularly blackberries, blueberries, and strawberries, which have the highest levels of antioxidants. And never throw aged bananas away. Just peel them and pop them into the freezer. These add sweetness to your smoothie. Fruits like kiwi or pineapple can also add a pleasing taste. Just make sure you limit your fruit to 1 to maybe a cup and a half per serving. You want to avoid calories even though it's natural sugar. Remember, slicing fruits or vegetables into small, uniform pieces makes them easier to puree and puts less strain on your blender's motor. Keep these tips in mind and your smoothie will surely be fit to eat.
You know, you should really try making smoothies. They're a great way to boost your nutrition, and the kids will enjoy them as a treat. And you know what, Murray? We ought to get them to send us recipes, send them and post them to Facebook. What a great way to get some outside input, huh?
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that today when I get home.
I think that's a wonderful idea. All right, we're going to turn some temperature back up here. I've got a hot pan over there, and where we're going to go first is a quick spray. And we're going to sear our green onion garnish. And this really doesn't have to cook. But you see, it's going to be kind of fun what we're doing over there. Now, while that's going on, and I might have you kind of look at that with your tongs, maybe just turn it in a minute or so, we're going to get out our cooked sweet potato, okay? And I tell you what, come on over here, and here's where we go next. A little of our garlic powder and onion powder, but this one's got cinnamon. And then some fresh chopped of that flat Italian parsley.
Nice.
So you've got some neat fresh herb, some seasoning. We'll kind of mix that around, okay? And then take that sweet potato, and we're gonna cut it, and this is a small one, so really it's about the perfect amount. You see it cuts so well. We're gonna get about 4 nice spears, okay? And on those, we'll take and we will put a little bit, and I'm just going to get down and dirty with this, huh?
Just chunk it on.
All right. I tell you, while I'm doing that, if you'll turn those green onions over there.
I got it.
I'm going to get the seasoning on these sweet potatoes and mix them around here. We'll cook an extra one for the set. You know what we're going to do? I know these camera guys are dying and hungry, so we're going to make sure we got enough for them too.
Very good.
Now, all we're going to do is grab that pan over here.
This one?
Yeah.
You want?
Again, another quick spray, trying to keep our oil down. Put those potatoes in there on one side to sear them. And that's going to give them a nice little browning. Turn that heat up. We got a lot going on, huh?
Yeah, how long do we cook these for?
Those are going to take about 2 minutes apiece, so that's
Okay.
not long. And I tell you,
These
on
will
the
be
green
close.
onion,
This
where
is
I'm going to
close.
go with that, you can set that right across. Here we go. I'll get it for you.
Got it?
There we go. We're going to set it right across the plate, and that's going to make a real pretty little garnish for us.
Beautiful.
Now, going to take and do a little housekeeping here.
You know what I like about all these fresh herbs is you could grow these in your own yard.
Absolutely, huh? I mean, I know a lot of people who really do. So, our meat has rested. Let's put it back on the cutting board. And the trick on this is to cut against the grain. And look how beautiful that is. Now, it's on the rare side, so for the person that likes it that way, that's great. That's me.
Yeah.
How do you like your meat?
I like it rare.
Well,
Medium
we're gonna
rare to rare.
You know, it's gonna cook in the sauce a little bit more. So we'll have it probably perfect medium rare. And all I do with that is take it, put it right into the sauce. We're gonna turn that heat up. And boy, I tell you what, I love it. He's over here cooking with me. That's the way to do it. Let's show, yep, there you go. Turning those sweet potatoes over. The meat's gonna get back again a little bit hotter in the sauce.
Oh, this smells good.
And I tell you, we're making some really good headway. Let's go ahead and clean off and sanitize that board just a little bit, because we're gonna come back and actually do some beautiful little seared tomato slices.
All right.
So,
I think these will.
yeah, we're gonna turn the heat off on those, and if you leave them with the skin down,
Yep.
just that way, it'll work out just perfectly. And I tell you, let's turn our meat over here. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to have any left over for them.
Hey, crew, I think Murray's going to be eating all your steak today. Look how nice that looks, though, huh?
It is.
Isn't that incredible?
The aroma is amazing.
Oh, I know, huh?
And you got a serving of fruit in there with blueberries.
Well, absolutely. And you know, fresh blueberries are such a treat. You know, we have a wealth of products that come out of Mississippi, and I think it's important that people try to buy everything they can local. All right, now on today's Down on the Farm segment, just by chance, we traveled to the heart of Mississippi's blueberry capital in Collins to visit Blue Terra, the first registered organic farm in the state of Mississippi. How perfect, huh?
That's great.
Yeah, doesn't it look great?
Yeah.
When Mandy McCormick bought an old farm in rural Collins, Mississippi, she was ready for a quiet retirement with lots of visits from her family. But when one of her grandchildren came in from playing in one of the many fields that surround her new home, he had discovered something that would change her plans.
The oldest grandson, Ronnie Coleman Jr., he comes in the house and he says, "Grandma, they got some blue things. Do you think that's those blueberries?" And I says, "Well, I don't know. Let's just go look and see, but don't eat them until I come out there and look." So we got on the golf cart, we went out there to the field, back of the house over there, that one field we could get to. And sure enough, it was blueberries. And that was the beginning. That was the start of all what you see here now. And then we figured out that we were going to try doing a U-pick farm because we did have at least 1 or 2 fields cleaned.
The U-pick field is actually one of the best fields that are here because they actually go out there and enjoy picking the berries themselves. They give them in a bag and they can go out and take their family out there and everything, and they're just nice and sweet. Everybody loves the sweet berries here.
One at the very tippy top? Okay, you take it. You got it. Was it sweet? I knew it was going to be sweet.
Mississippi started certifying farms. They were going to try doing that. So we, like I said, we got in touch with Mississippi State, USDA, and in conjunction with the Board of Health, they said, well, this is what, you know, they came out and told us what we needed to do. And so we did whatever they said we had to do. we got certified. We did the paperwork, and we got the first farm in Mississippi certified organic, and we have been certified organic ever since.
Nice and sweet berries here, love them. Beautiful, nice, juice, big sweet berries. That's all organic, that's all we come for.
We like the organic because that's an up-and-coming thing. I mean, organic's been around for a long time, but more and more people are looking towards organic and wanting organics. It tastes better. It comes out sweeter. It's not a bitter taste. So we really enjoy our organics.
Well, you can learn more about Blue Terra at pickaberry.com, and I tell you what, blueberries are the name today. Let's go over here though, Murray. I'm gonna mix some fresh garlic, some fat-free Parmesan cheese, a little bit of our pepper and herb, and then some fresh tarragon. And we know we were talking about that, how much we love tarragon. I mix this, mix it all together, and I'm just gonna take and put a little dab on each, because this is gonna go right in the pan, so you can handle it with your hand. If this was going out to somebody to eat, like in our restaurants, I would not handle it directly before it goes out there. So we're gonna push that down. And now here's kind of the fun part. We're gonna spray this again, off the heat, place those down in the pan, and a lot of that will come off, but the flavor will be good. And that cheese will kind of melt and create a nice little crust. While we're doing that, and let's see, that heat is pretty good. I'm gonna take and start working on plating the steak. Woo-hoo!
Yum.
Finally! They're probably, and you know, the crew is probably thinking we're gonna eat good, but I think they don't realize you're really eating all this, huh?
That's exactly right.
Unbelievable. Let's take that. And look how pretty those came out, huh?
Gorgeous.
And that literally is 4.5 to 5 ounces of beef, so it's the perfect portion size. That's a big part about what we do.
And it didn't take long.
No, not at all. And I put some of the sauce. And then our website, of course, you can go to for the recipes, mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat. All right, now. Yep, these are working good. So let's take these right now. Pull that little crust and wait till you see how nice that looks. There it is right on top, just that little bit.
Yum.
All kind of fresh. Same thing again. And that flavor will mix in well with that green onion, which we kind of put on there as a garnish. And the tomatoes stay nice and crispy. So we're gonna leave that little bit of green that you can see on the end. And I tell you what, we're gonna move this over and let's do just a little bit of housekeeping around the plate so it looks so pretty. Gotta have it look nice, you know?
Where's my fork?
And I tell you what, can you get that aroma? Isn't that incredible? It really has got such a fine aroma with all the fresh herbs. And I just think it really makes for a great looking plate. So you've got here your actual sweet potato spears, your healthy beef, beautiful flavored tomatoes, little green for color and flavor. So it's really a nice balanced meal.
You got the spectrum.
Absolutely.
Several servings of fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, and I mean, and all made with stuff off your farmer's market, you know? It's hard to really get any better than something along this line where you're eating something that's so light and healthy. You know, I mean, would this not be the perfect way to try and exemplify to your groups
It would be.
how they could be cooking?
Because they love meat, and they love potatoes, so this is a healthy version.
Right, and it's kind of like this, not that. This being a healthy steak and potatoes, not the butter, the sour cream, the fatty steak, and everything that goes along with it, you know? Really have a lot of fun. Have a lot of fun with this. And I tell you what, if we look at the nutritional breakdown of this meal, what's really great is a single portion has under 500 calories, but yet 39 grams of protein.
That's a lot.
So, I mean, if you're interested in any of the recipes you see on today's show, visit our webpage, mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat, or join the Facebook page, MPB Fit to Eat, and send us recipes. And unbelievable. You know, I'd like to thank our guest, Murray.
Thank you.
Unbelievable. Great for helping me out today. And if you'd like to learn more about Mississippi Business Group on Health, check out them at msbgh.org, the Mississippi Business Group of Health. And I tell you what, next time, I'm your host, Rob Stinson. Eat well.
Eat well.